let's reconstruct the actual crime.
As well as we can reconstruct it.
I think a murderer could use up to 30 or 40 seconds pretty easily at this point.
Let's reconstruct the killing.
Yeah, let's.
Here, you do the stabbing.
No, I'll do it.
And don't you be the one that gets stabbed. You're younger than I am. And don't forget you're just 1 second to fall.
That's and he was found on his side, his right side, so falling roll onto your right side. If someone hates another person enough to kill them, don't you think it's reasonable to suppose that the murderer would look at his victim for a second or two?
Divorce yourself from this particular case. It's just human nature.
Yeah, it seems reasonable.
Hey, wait a minute.
Hey, wait a minute. He falls and then he'll end up on his right side. The father did. But stabbing someone isn't like shooting them, even when it's right in the heart. The father would have worked around for a few seconds, lying there on the floor, withering, maybe.
It's quite possible. There would have been enough oxygen in his system to carry him for 2 or 3 more seconds, I should think.
Would the father have cried out?
Maybe the kid held his mouth.
That also seems possible.
Also, there's another point we might as well bring out. Anyone who's clear enough mentally to wipe the fingerprints away after murdering someone, well, that person is also clear enough mentally to look around the apartment, or room in this case, to see if there are any other clues. It would just be for a second or two, I should think, but still he would look around.
This gets better and better.
We're trying to make it clear. One doesn't talk about quality when murder is involved. Well, let's do it.
About this on the fingerprints. The kid wiped the fingerprints off the knife. Well, what about the doorknob? If I saw a man coming into my home, a man that hated me, and if he was wiping the doorknob with a handkerchief as he came in, it would give me an uneasy feeling. So the doorknobs must have been wiped after the killing, and this too would have taken some time.
You timed the last one. Why don't you time this one too?
All right.
Stamp your foot when you want me to start.
I want the hand to be at 60.
I'm going to kill you!
On your right side. Good.
He would have wiped both knobs. Stop!
20, yeah, 20, 25, 29, about 29 and a half seconds, I'd say.
And whoever did murder the old man, and I think it was the kid, he still had to run down the hall and down the stairs, at least one flight of stairs.
You see?
The old man downstairs may have been wrong on the time, but in view of this, I think it's quite reasonable to assume that he did see the kid run downstairs.
So now both time sequences check. The one you did and the one we did. With what running downstairs and everything, it does pretty much check out on times.
Sure, he's an old man who wants attention. He's probably right, but the old man feels the way everybody does. A life is at stake.
So the story of the old man may as well be true.
Except for the fact that he absolutely swore under oath that it was only 15 seconds.
We seem to all agree that it was 25 to 40 seconds later.
You are now admitting that the old man lied in one case and told the truth in the other? I admit that this does tend to confirm the story of the old man, but in part he is now proven a liar, and this is by your own admission.
That may be true, that the old man lies in part, but I think it will change my vote. No, that's not my line.
That may be true that the old man lies in part, but I think it will change my vote once more. Guilty.
What about you? What do you think now?
I'm not just sure what I think. I want to talk some more. At first I thought guilty, then I changed. Now I'm sort of swinging back to guilty.
And what about you?
No, I'm in real doubt now. Real doubt.
I say guilty. I was right the first time.
Now we're beginning to make sense in here.
Seems to be about 9 guilty to 3 not guilty.
One more question about the old man downstairs. How many of you live in apartment buildings?
I don't know what you're thinking, but I know what I'm thinking.
What's that?
I do not live in a tenement, but it's close, and there's just enough light in the hall
so you can see the steps. No more. The light bulbs are so small, and this murder took place in a tenement.
Remember how we stumbled on the steps?
The police officers were using big bulbs, and one even had a flashlight, remember?
So an old man who misjudged the time by 20 seconds. On this we all agree. This old man looked down the dark hallway of a tenement and recognized a running figure.
He was 100% wrong about the time. It took twice as long as he thought.
Then could not the old man be 100% wrong about what he saw?
That's the most idiotic thing I've ever heard. You're making up out of thin air.
We're a hung jury, let's be honest with it.
Do you truly feel that there's no room for reasonable doubt?
Yes, I do.
I beg your pardon, but maybe you don't understand the term reasonable doubt.
What do you mean I don't understand it? Who do you think you are to talk to me like that? How do you like this guy? He comes over here running for his life, and before he can even take a big breath, he's telling us how to run the show. The ignorance of the arrogance of him. No one is asking where anyone came from. I was born right here, or where your father came from.
Maybe it wouldn't hurt us to take a few tips from people who come running here. Maybe they learned something we don't know. We're not so perfect.
Don't worry, I'm used to it. Thank you.
It's not all right.
Okay, I apologize. Is that what you want?
That's what I want.
Oh, right. Let's stop the arguing. Who's got something constructive to say?
Well, something's been bothering me a little. This whole business about the stab wound and how it was made, the downward angle of it, you know?
Don't tell me we're going to start that. They went over it. And they went over it and over it in court.
I know they did, but I don't go along with it. The boy is 5 feet 8 inches tall. His father was 6 feet 2 inches tall. That's a difference of 6 inches. It's a very awkward thing to stab down into the chest of someone who's half a foot taller than you are.
Look, you're not going to be satisfied until you see it again. I'm going to give you a demonstration. Somebody get up. Now watch this. I don't want to have to do it again. Is that 6 inches?
That's more than 6 inches.
Alright, let it be more.
Ah!
Okay, I'm confused on how to do this slide, because
I think, well, don't worry, right now, just yell, like, you think she's about to stab him.
okay,
I think like as she's like going down, you say, "Look out!"
okay.
Try one more time.
Look out!
That's not funny.
What's the No, don't.
Keep going.
What's the matter with you?
Just now, calm down. Nobody's hurt, are they?
No. Nobody's hurt.
Alright, there's your angle. Take a look at it. Down and in. Now that's how you saw a taller man in the chest. Now that's how it's done. Look at it and tell me I'm wrong.
If I'm stabbing the table. Oh, sorry, around the other way.
Down and in. I guess there's no argument.
Do you want me to take the knife?
No, take it?
It says.
He takes it and then closes it.
Oh, yeah. It must not take it in the other version. You know what, let's keep jamming on the table. Let's see what happens if it stays there for fun. Oh, no, you need it.
Yeah.
So yeah, take it.
Do I?
Take it.
Yeah.
Take the knife. Good, you getting all this eating? Good.
Did you ever stab a man?
Of course not.
Did you?
No.
I don't know where we are.
Alright, let's not be silly.
Did you?
No, I didn't.
Where do you get all this information about how it's done?
What do you mean? It's just common sense.
Have you ever seen a man stabbed?
No.
All right. I want to ask you something. The boy was an experienced knife fighter. He was even sent to reform school for knife fighting. Isn't that so?
That's right.
Look at this. Doesn't it seem like an awkward way to hold a knife?
What are you asking me for?
Wait a minute. What's the matter with me? Give me that knife.
Have you seen a knife fight?
Yes, I have.
In the movies?
In my backyard, on my stoop, and in the vacant lawn across the street. Too many of them. Switch knives came with the neighborhood where I lived. Funny that I didn't think of it before. I guess you try to forget those things. Anyone who's ever used a switch knife would never have stabbed downward. You don't handle a switch knife that way. You use it underhand.
Then he couldn't have made the kind of wound that killed his father.
I suppose it's conceivable that he could have made the wound, but it's not likely. Not if he'd ever had any experience with switch knives. And we know that the kid had a lot of experience with switch knives.
I don't believe it.
Neither do I. You're giving us a lot of mumbo jumbo.
What do you think?
Well, I don't know.
What about you?
Listen, I'll tell you all something. I'm a little sick of this whole thing already. We're going nowhere fast. Let's break it up and go home.
Before we decide anything more, I would like to try to pull this together.
This should be good.
He has a right. Let him go ahead.
Do you want me to time this too? Let's hear him.
I'm in advertising. I'm used to the big shots pulling things together. Let's ship up a few shots to see any of them land on green.
I want you all to look at this logically and consistently.
We have guilty.
I want to know, is the kid smart or is the kid dumb?
What do you mean?
This is a kid who's gone to reform school for knife fighting. The night of the murder, he bought a knife, a switch knife. It would have then taken a very stupid kid to go and murder a man, his father, with an instrument that everyone would associate with the kid.
I quite agree. He's dumb.
However, if he were dumb, then why did he make the kind of wound that an inexperienced man would make with a knife?
I'm not sure I understand.
To murder someone must take great emotion, great hatred. And at that moment, he would have handled the knife as best as he could. And a trained knife fighter would handle it as he had been trained, underhand. A man who had not been trained would go overhand. But this kid is being very smart. Everyone knows that he's an experienced knife fighter, so he's smart enough at the moment to make the wound that an amateur would make. That man is a smart man, smart enough to wipe the fingerprints away, perhaps even smart enough to wait until an L train was going by in order to cover the noise. Now, is this kid smart, or is he dumb?
Hey now, wait a minute.
Well, the woman across the L train tracks saw the murder through the L train. So someone in that L train could have seen the murder too.
A possibility,
It would
but
have
no one did that we know of.
It would have taken an awfully dumb man to take that chance, doing the murder as the train went by.
Exactly, a dumb man, a very stupid man, a man swept by emotion. Probably he heard nothing. He probably didn't even hear the train coming, and whoever did murder the father did it as well as he could.
So?
The kid is dumb enough to do everything to associate himself with the switch knife. A switch knife murder. And then a moment after the murder, he becomes smart. The kid is smart enough to make a kind of wound that would lead us to suspect someone else. And yet at the same time, at the same instant, he is dumb enough to do the killing as an L train is going by. And then a moment later, he is smart enough to wipe the fingerprints away. To make this boy guilty, you would have to say he's dumb from 8 o'clock until about midnight, and then about midnight he is smart 1 second, and then dumb a few seconds, and then smart again, and then once again he becomes stupid. So stupid that he does not think of a good alibi. Now is this kid smart, or is he dumb? To say that he's guilty, you would have to toss his intelligence like a pancake. There is doubt. Doubt, doubt.
I hadn't thought of that.
And the old man downstairs, on the stand, he swore that it was 15 seconds. He insisted on 15 seconds, but we all agreed that it must have been almost 40 seconds.
Does the old man lie half the time? Then does he tell the truth the other half?
For the kid to be guilty, he must be stupid, then smart, then stupid, then smart, and so on. And also, for the kid to be guilty, the old man downstairs must be liar half of the time, and then the other half he must be telling the truth. You can reasonably doubt.
I'm still in unreasonable doubt.
I think I am too.
I wanted more talk, and now I've had it.
I want another vote.
Okay, another vote called. I guess the quickest way is a show of hands. Anybody object? All right. All those voting not guilty, raise your hands. 9. All those voting not guilty? Guilty? 3. Vote is 9-3 in favor of the plea.
I don't understand you people. How can you believe this kid is innocent? Look, you know how these people lie? I don't have to tell you. They don't know what the truth is. And let me tell you that they don't need any real big reason to kill somebody either. You know, they get drunk and bang, somebody's lying in the gutter. Nobody's blaming them, that's how they are. You know what I mean? Violent. You Human life don't mean as much to them as it does to us. Hey, where are y'all going? Look, these people are drinking and fighting all the time. And if somebody gets killed, so somebody gets killed. They don't care. Oh, sure, there are some good things about them. Look, I'm the first to say that. I've known a few who are pretty decent, but that's the exception. Most of them, it's like they have no feelings. What's going on here? I'm speaking my piece. Listen to me. They're no good. Not one of them who's any good. We better watch out. Take it from me. This kid's on trial. Well, don't you know about them? Listen to me. What are you doing? I'm trying to tell you something.
I've had enough. If you open your mouth again, I'm going to split your skull.
I'm only trying to tell you.
All right, sit down, everybody. Now, I still believe the boy is guilty of murder, and I'll tell you why. To me, the most damning evidence was given by the woman across the street who claimed she actually saw the murder committed.
That's right. As far as I'm concerned, that's the most important testimony.
All right. Let's go over her testimony. What exactly did she say?
I believe I can recount it accurately. She said that she went to bed at about 11 o'clock that night. Her bed was right next to an open window, and she could look directly out of the window while lying down and see directly into the window across the street. She tossed and turned for over an hour, unable to fall asleep. Finally, she looked towards the window at about 12:10. And as she looked out, she saw the boy stab his father. As far as I can see, this is unshakable testimony.
That's what I mean. That's the whole case.
Frankly, in view of this, I don't see how you can vote for acquittal. What do you think about it?
Or maybe there's so much evidence to sift.
What do you mean, maybe? She's absolutely right. You can throw out all the other evidence.
That was my feeling. I don't deny the validity of the points he's made. Shall we say that on one side of the tracks there is doubt? But what can you say about the story of the woman? She saw it.
What time is it?
10 minutes of 6.
You don't suppose they'll let us go home and finish in the morning? I've got a kid with mumps.
Not a chance.
Can't you see the clock without your glasses?
Not really.
Oh.
Glasses are a nuisance, aren't they?
Well, what do you all do when you wake up in the middle of the night and you want to know what time it is?
I put my glasses on and look at the clock.
I just lie in bed and wait for the clock to chime. My father gave it to me when we were married, my wife and I. It was 10 years before we had a place to put it.
Do you wear your glasses to bed?
Of course not. No one wears their eyeglasses to bed.
Sorry. The woman who testified that she saw the killing wears glasses. What about her?
Did she wear glasses?
Of course. The woman wore bifocals. I remember this very clearly. They looked quite strong.
That's right. Bifocals. She never took them off.
Funny, I never thought of
I
that.
think it's logical to say that she was not wearing the glasses in bed, and I don't think she put them on to glance casually out the window. She testified that the murder took place the instant she looked out, and that the lights went off a split second later. She couldn't have had time to put her glasses on then. Now perhaps this woman honestly thought she saw the boy kill his father. I say that she only saw a blur.
How do you know what she saw? Maybe she's farsighted. How does he know all these things?
Does anyone think there's still not a reasonable doubt?
I will always wonder if there's reasonable doubt.
I think he's guilty.
Does anyone else?
No, I'm convinced now. There is a reasonable doubt.
You're alone.
11 votes, not guilty, 1 guilty. I don't care whether I'm alone or not. I have a right.
Yes, you have a right.
Well, I told you, I think the kid's guilty. What else do you want?
We want your arguments.
I gave you my arguments.
We're not convinced. We want to hear them again. We have as much time as it takes.
Listen, what's the matter with you? You're the guy. You made all the arguments. You can't turn
And then
down.
we move to the next one.
Well, what do you want? I say he's guilty.
We want your arguments.
I gave you my arguments.
We're not convinced. We want to hear them again. We have as much time as it takes.
Everything. Every single thing that came out in that courtroom. I mean, anything. Everything. He said he's guilty. Do you think I'm an idiot or something? You lousy bunch of bleeding hearts, you're not going to intimidate me. I'm entitled to my opinion. I can sit in this goddamn room for a year. Somebody say something. Well, don't you take that stuff about the old man who lived there and heard everything? Or take the knife, just another light. The old man saw him, right there on the stairs. What's the difference? How many seconds it took? Okay. Every single thing. The knife falling through the hole in his pants, you can't prove that he didn't get to the door. Sure, you can hobble around the room all you want, but you can't prove it. I'm telling you, every single thing that went on has been twisted and turned in here. That business with the glasses. How do you know she didn't have them on? The woman testified in court. What do you want? That's it. That's the whole case. The whole thing about hearing the boy yell, the phrase, "I'm gonna kill you," that's what he said to his own father. I don't care what kind of man that was. It was his father, that goddamn rotten kid. I know him. What they're like, what they do to you, how they kill you every day. My God, don't you see? How come I'm the only one who sees? Jeez, I can feel that knife going in.
It's not your boy. He's someone else.
Let him live.
All right. Not guilty.
We haven't heard it.
All right, everyone, take your seats in the jury box.